Before we get into turf walls, sunken floors, or hearthstones, it's necessary to correct a widespread misunderstanding. The Vikings did not try to heat their homes in the modern sense. You see, firewood was limited, cutting it was labor-intensive, and burning it continuously indoors was, well, dangerous. Instead, Norse builders focused on preventing heat loss so effectively that only minimal heat generation was required. Once you really get this, Viking winter survival stops looking miraculous and starts looking pretty methodical. If you stick with me for the next minute, you'll see why modern houses with central heating lose warmth faster than Viking homes built over 1,000 years ago, and why this ancient system still outperforms many fuel-dependent structures today. The hearth charged the building rather than heating the air. The Viking hearth was not designed to burn constantly. Fires were lit strategically, often once or twice a day. Stone hearths, packed earth floors, and heavy benches absorbed heat during these burns and released it slowly over time. Sleeping platforms were placed near walls where stored heat lingered longest. This turned the entire structure into a thermal battery. Once charged, it stayed warm without additional fuel. A modern equivalent would be a masonry stove or heated stone floor. Even placing dense stone or brick near a heat source and allowing it to absorb warmth before sleeping, well, it mirrors this ancient system. The Vikings understood thermal mass centuries before the term existed. Human and animal warmth were integrated into the heating system. Viking homes were communal because, honestly, isolation wastes heat. Multiple people sleeping together generate significant warmth. Wool clothing and layered bedding trap that heat efficiently, preventing loss through conduction. Livestock were often housed in attached sections of the longhouse during winter. Their body heat rose naturally into living areas, providing constant background warmth. This was not unsanitary improvisation, it was intentional thermal design. In survival situations today, shared sleeping areas, insulated animal shelters connected to human dwellings, and zoning spaces to concentrate warmth reflect the same logic. Heat generated by living bodies should never be wasted. Viking interiors were smoky, but controlled. Smoke collected beneath the roof, forming an insulating layer that slowed heat escape. At the same time, smoke dried wooden beams and prevented fungal decay in damp climates. Ventilation openings were small and adjustable. Moisture escaped slowly. Heat stayed inside. Modern airtight buildings use controlled ventilation to achieve the same result. The method has changed. The principle has not. Nothing in a Viking home served only one purpose. Every element contributed to warmth. Walls insulated and supported. Roofs sealed and weighted. Animals provided food and heat. Smoke preserved and insulated. Clothing doubled as bedding. Architecture, lifestyle, and survival were inseparable. This is why Viking heating methods still appear in passive house design, experimental archaeology, and cold weather survival engineering. They were built on physics, not comfort assumptions. Why this ancient method still matters now. Fuel dependence is fragile. Power grids fail. Cold kills more people globally than heat. The Viking approach offers resilience without constant consumption. It relies on understanding heat behavior and refusing to let it escape. This knowledge endured centuries of extreme winters, scarce resources, and isolation. It deserves more than casual admiration. It deserves application. If you value serious, practical history that connects ancient knowledge to real-world survival, subscribe to Ancient Know-How. Share this with others who believe the past still has lessons worth learning. These methods worked then, and they still work now.